Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert Camo, the Fantasy Football Counselor. We're talking about 5 quarterback steals for Fantasy Football 2020. Looking at the list here, these 5 guys, these guys could really help you guys win your leagues, and you literally pay nothing to get these quarterbacks. They are steals. That's why I'm going over this with you guys, okay? Now, some people are saying, well, Joe, isn't that similar to sleepers? Yes, it could be, but what I'm saying and the way I'm looking at it is draft value. So I'm getting these guys for immense value in my drafts. There's different terms. I like to call them steals because literally you're getting them. They're kind of under the radar a little bit, and you're getting them for literally nothing. Well, I mean, some of them have medium type draft ADP, but there's still a steal based on how they can produce. Okay, so 5 quarterback steals. Before we get into this, guys, fantrax.com/FFC. I've moved my league over there. You can too. Totally customizable in-league polls. You can have a 2 quarterback league. You could have super flex leagues. You can have more points towards tight ends. You could do a lot of cool things on there. There's too many things to list here, but check it out, fantrax.com/FFC. Now, if you sign up now, you get entered automatically to, free draw, guys. Free draw for a signed Josh Allen jersey. It doesn't hurt you guys. Link below. Sign up. Fantrax.com/FFC. As soon as you sign up there, costs you nothing. You're entered for a beautiful signed Josh Allen jersey. You guys do that. Fantrax.com/FFC. Secondly, guys, Manscape.com. Head over to Manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLION. Save yourself 20% on some amazing male grooming products. Navigational light here on this Lawnmower 3.0. I've got the beautiful Lawnmower 4.0 behind me. Get yourself an amazing package. You got great packages there, and you can save yourself 20% using promo code SHOWERLION. Go do that and get the 16-round draft solution. I've linked it below. What is the 16-round draft solution? Why do I make such a big deal about it? Well, yesterday I was out at the grocery store. I was looking at the magazine rack, and literally, these things are outdated, right? There's magazines on the rack that are outdated upon print. The rankings are very cookie cutter. It's only a good guideline at best. Rankings won't help you win your leagues. Neither will fluffy podcasts, 4-letter networks, and Confucius analysts, okay? They won't help you. So I created something because I was pissed at the way things were being done. I created the 16-round draft solution. It's a video training where it's like having me at the draft with you, where I walk you through all the optimal players to draft in each round, the values, the sleepers, dynasty rankings, everything is there for you. All the optimal players, guys, at 16-round drafts, which is going to help you guys crush your year-long league. Linked it below here on YouTube. Take a second, pause the video, grab it. It's only $24. Link here below, or get it at thefantasyfootballcounts.com. I priced it so everybody can get it and win their leagues, okay? I live and breathe this stuff, so this has been working. I think it's my 4th year running here with 16 rounds. It's been working. It is the future of fantasy football analysis, and nobody else is doing it. I like to stray away from what people do, and that's how you're going to win your league, okay? So let's talk about these 5 quarterbacks. Again, smash a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know who you think is a steal. All right, first quarterback here is Matt Ryan. Let's get right to it. He's a steal in my opinion. Currently sitting around 14th, 15th, 16th, depending on which Sheep's ranking chart you're looking at, which magazine you're looking at. Anyway, let's say rank 13 to 15 on average, okay? But with Matt Ryan, he finished 12th last year, coming off one of his worst years. Now, what I love about Matt Ryan, and a lot of people aren't as happy about it, but I like his passing attempts, okay? 626 passing attempts. That is what I love. I like a guy that can air the ball out more than pretty much anybody, okay? That's one thing that I like. I like a lot of volume out of him. Now, last year, a bit of a down year, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Julio Jones was out for pretty much the entire season. Now you're saying, well, Joe, Julio Jones is not there anymore. I know. They brought in, theoretically, the most talented and gifted physical player in the NFL draft 2021, which was Kyle Pitts. Now, Kyle Pitts is going to act like a receiver. He's going to be getting a lot of receptions, and I think he's going to be getting a ton of touchdowns. Now, Matt Ryan, again, throws the ball a lot. Calvin Ridley, Hurst, they got Russell Gage there. I really think Kyle Pitts has to step up. Now, he's a rookie. It's going to take some time to get some integration in there, but about week 4, 5, 6, this guy could be the number 1 tight end in the NFL. Now, that's how much upside is there with Kyle Pitts and Matt Ryan, that connection there. Now, Matt Ryan, again, being on the downwards trend of his career, there is some speculation on how good he is. Again, he's putting up respectable numbers last year. I'm looking at him right now. I mean, it wasn't a typical Matt Ryan year, but you're going to get 4,500 yards out of him. You're going to get 30 touchdowns out of him. You're going to get a lot of passing attempts out of him, and you don't have to spend a lot. Now, these guys here can literally be your backup quarterback. Now, I'm in a 2-quarterback league. Well, it's actually 1 quarterback, but you can start 2 quarterbacks. So theoretically, it's a 2-quarterback league. And I had to get Matt Ryan in around the third round because all the quarterbacks went early in the rounds 1 and 2, and because I went running back. So when you look at this, Matt Ryan is my starter there. I'm still going to get a good backup or a second quarterback, but in typical one quarterback leagues, Matt Ryan can, and all these guys can be your backup quarterbacks, okay? I'm telling you guys, they are draft steals, and I absolutely love them, okay? Now, there is Ryan Tannehill as well. I'm just going to pepper him in here because I thought of the name Ryan as well. Matt Ryan, Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill's ADP has climbed up since, the acquisition of Julio Jones. He was a steal as well, but I think he could be a steal as well. So there's a sneaky steal there for you, okay? Quarterback number 2 here, Carson Wentz. So I'm going for guys, ranked 15 and below typically on the Concheapsis rankings. I still think Ryan Tannehill's a steal is what I'm trying to say. So number 2 here, Carson Wentz. Now, it's not an exciting pick. It's not a sexy pick by any means of the stretch, at all. So the thing that's so appealing about Carson Wentz, so I'm looking at it here. He was the most sacked quarterback last year. I'm not a Carson Wentz fan. I think when the Eagles paid him, I think he was completely overpaid. That's something that I expressed vocally very loud about, right? Carson Wentz was overpaid. Years to us were not wowed. He had a good year when it was 2016, 2017. We had a decent year, but got injured. Now, understand, again, he was the most sacked quarterback last year with 50 sacks. That's a lot, right? Now, currently sitting around 17 to 18 to 19 on the Concheapsis rankings amongst quarterbacks. I mean, that's not sexy at all. And then again, last year finished 22nd, played 12 games, 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. So he was under a lot of pressure, okay? This is a make or break year for Carson Wentz. So one thing you got to realize when you are drafting a player is don't get emotional. Don't buy recency bias. And another thing is, and again, I'm not drafting Carson Wentz as my starting quarterback at all. As a backup quarterback or a second quarterback, yes, that's what we're talking here. We're not talking, hey, Joe, you told me Carson Wentz first round. No. This is last pick of the draft or second quarterback or backup quarterback or third quarterback. He's falling really late. People are just he's off the radar, and he's an absolute steal. So I'll tell you why. Number 1, he's the most sacked quarterback. I've said this. There's going to be less pressure on him. Better O-line with the Colts. Now, with the Colts, also, they've got a running game too, and he's got some decent receivers there with T.Y. Hilton and Pittman. Not the greatest receivers on paper, but 2 receivers that can get it done for him. So Carson Wentz, better O-line, and it's a make or break season for Carson. So that's another thing to look at. Now, last year, again, threw it 437 times, but didn't play. He only played 12 games. And again, he didn't really want to be on that team by the sounds of it, getting attacked, getting sacked all the time. This is a make or break year. That is the key feature of what you get out of this. So Carson Wentz is a draft steal, a guy that could put up top 10, top 12 numbers if healthy, if functioning properly, if protected properly, which I think he will be. And that is what's so appealing about Carson Wentz is the situation that he's put in and the fact that it's a make or break year. So theoretically, he is a steal here in drafts. You can get him for literally nothing, okay? Third guy here. This is an interesting one. It's a total boomer bust pick. It's a dice roll. But I'm talking about Jameis Winston, who's sitting 25th, 26th, 27th on the Concheapsis rankings. Jameis Winston, I don't know if you saw that video that went viral. I did a meme to it, a funny thing where he's kind of hopping around, throwing the ball, hitting he's getting hit by his coach to try to do a ball security drill. It looked really ridiculous, right? He's kind of jittery. It looks like he's having a seizure. It's really something weird to watch. And then another video just came out recently with him where he looks a little more focused doing the ball security drill, throwing the ball, looking downfield, looks a little more focused. So one thing's for sure, as bad as that video looked, the first one where he looked like he's having a seizure, the guy's putting in the work, right? And he is on the Saints. There's a void there with Drew Brees. Now, they do have Taysom Hill there, which is, I think he's going to be a pest because if you think about it, Taysom Hill was being integrated with Drew Brees. Drew Brees is one of the, arguably one of the best quarterbacks of all time. You can make a debate there. And he was coming in on near the goal line, red zone, coming and getting his share of work. He's going to be a thorn in James Winston's side. So that's kind of the only drawback. Another big drawback with James Winston is that he had, 33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions back in 2019. Still managed to be a top 5 quarterback. You may want to completely fade Jameis Winston as a backup quarterback or as a quarterback 3 or a bench quarterback if you're in a quarterback league that, interceptions are heavily penalized, right? You may want to fade him there. But you're looking at a high ceiling guy, and he's got Michael Thomas, who nobody's really talking about this year. Michael Thomas was a number 1 fantasy wide receiver last year, right? And I said fade him because he had a big 2019. Don't go Michael Thomas because he's due for a decline, got hurt, right? But we could be looking at a situation where both Michael Thomas and Winston thrive this year, and nobody's really talking about it. So it's an interesting pick as a backup with some upside, with the concern and risk of Taysom Hill and the 30 interceptions from 2019. That's a bit of a concern. But again, he finished number 5 that year in 2019 amongst quarterbacks, even with those interceptions. So you're looking at a potential huge steal in drafts where he's completely under the radar. Nobody's talking about him. You could call him a fantasy quarterback sleeper as well. But Jameis Winston, a draft steal with potential boom upside. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Okay, so there's another steal for you at quarterback. Am I drafting him? Probably not. I mean, if I'm in a league where it's a 2-quarterback league, he's sitting there near the end, maybe. You do have some upside with, Fields and other guys as well, and other rookies, but it is a bit of a risk. That's the problem. I'm probably going to avoid him, but he could be a huge draft steal. Okay, number 4 here, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is one of those guys. I usually get a good feeling about quarterbacks, and I get giddy and excited about them, or even any position for that matter. I like Najee Harris this year. I could be wrong, but there's certain players that give me that exciting feeling in my heart. I'm feeling that with Daniel Jones. The only thing is he's kind of like a safe floor kind of guy. Last year finished, 24th amongst quarterbacks, 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. But you got to say to him, O-line was bad. Saquon Barkley was hurt, and he had no receivers. They brought in Kenny Galladay, who I believe, in my opinion, is a true wide receiver 1. Daniel Jones now settling into that offense. Another make-or-break season. Currently sitting, where is he sitting? Around 20th on the consensus rankings. So he's completely under the radar. Could be a draft steal. Another situation where I don't see the ceiling being as high for Daniel Jones. I don't see that boom type of year, but it could actually happen. I mean, you're going to have a really high floor for this guy. You're looking at 3,500 yards. Last year was just under 3,000 yards. That's going to go up. You're looking at 20 touchdown floor. I think he's going to maintain a good ratio. I don't think he's going to throw a lot of picks. Saquon Barkley's coming back. I think, believe it or not, this offense could be better than advertised, okay, than people think, right? So Daniel Jones, a guy that, again, a backup quarterback that's going to put you safe, solid production with a little bit of a ceiling there. Daniel Jones, a quarterback steal this year with some weapons in place in a make-or-break season. I like Daniel Jones as a backup quarterback with some upside, okay? Next guy here, sitting a little bit higher in the rankings, 15th, okay? Trevor Lawrence. Now, Trevor Lawrence, again, top prospect coming out of the NFL draft in a situation where he wants to thrive, right? Jacksonville Jaguars, not the greatest team, but he could be the bright spot on that offense. He's being touted as a, future Hall of Famer, could be the real deal, looked good in college, obviously number 1 draft pick. A lot of good, feedback. I'm trying to find the word here. A lot of good feedback on Trevor Lawrence here. The thing is Laviska Shenault, DJ Chark, Marvin Jones, are these guys going to be good enough weapons to make this guy thrive, right? They brought in Travis Etienne to be on that roster. James Robinson, solid. It's a bit of a suspect offense, no doubt about it, but with a high ceiling. And again, this is one of those guys that could absolutely boom, and he's going to be a draft steal because he's under people's radars because of the fact that he's on a crappy team. The wide receivers are in question. I think DJ Chark is a huge sleeper this year with some upside. And that is the problem. We got Trevor Lawrence, new, young situation where we don't know what's going to happen. But as a backup quarterback with massive ceiling, why not? Okay? Great arm. And I am excited to see what happens there with Trevor Lawrence. So there you have it, guys. 5 quarterback steals. There is other steals. They're ranked a little bit higher. I still think Ryan Tannehill is a huge steal this year. But again, he's sitting at 11th amongst quarterbacks there. There is other guys, but a lot of question marks. Guys like Justin Field, Zach Wilson, we don't know, right? They could be deep sleepers. We're just not sure. But there's 5 quarterback steals for you in drafts. But do not draft these guys as your starting quarterback. Make sure you get a backup. And again, kind of a golden fantasy football draft strategy rule when it comes to quarterbacks is I draft a quarterback and I get a backup no matter what. 1 quarterback league, 2 quarterbacks. 2 quarterback league, 3 quarterbacks all the time. Okay, guys? Subscribe, leave a thumbs up. Let me know which steals you like at quarterback here below and get the 16-round draft solution. Appreciate you guys. Fantasy football is almost here. We'll talk soon.